And welcome to another episode of the In 90 Minutes podcast. Happy Monday, gentlemen. Happy Monday to all of you watching us. Thank you for joining us again. I am your host this evening, Ahmed Salim. Alongside me this evening are John and David. Misael could not be with us. He might join us a little bit later if he's able to. Gentlemen, how are you all doing this Monday? Everybody doing well? I hope.
All right.
Good,
Doing
good.
great.
Nice. So, for those of you watching, as always, thank you for continuing to support the show. Please make sure to follow, like, and subscribe our socials. We are on Instagram, Facebook, Twitter, Twitch, Blue Sky, TikTok, as at In 90 Minutes Podcast. And you can always watch us live Mondays on YouTube, Facebook, X. We're live on Instagram today and Twitch. Um, and also, you can, if you're unable to watch us live, you can listen to the podcast wherever you consume your podcasts on Apple Podcasts and Spotify. So it's been about a week since we met. 7 days. I think I was doing the math. It was like 10,000 minutes or so since we last met. And since then, a lot has happened with the team and a lot's been going on around the league. So, gentlemen, where do we want to begin before we dive into the first team? Where should we start?
Let's start with really the only good news I'm thinking with OC, well, the Academy actually.
Yes.
Um, Justin Ellis got the most valuable player for the entire MLS Next U19 division. Um, it's a huge honor to get. I don't know the exact number of players, but there's a lot of teams in MLS Next. It's more than just the academy from the MLS. There's other teams that are involved in it as well. So huge honor. We know it. Following the club, following Orlando City B, following the academy like we do. We've seen it, and the dude's a game changer. Even when he's in for Orlando City B, he changes the matches, and I think he may be maybe the next one up once Typhy and Caraballo get a little more acclimated to the senior team. I think he's kind of maybe third or fourth in line.
Wow. I wouldn't mind that. I wouldn't mind some new blood on the pitch. It's always good. And not when we need them. Not when you need it. How about trying out beforehand, right?
No, for sure. And he can score, and he's very attack minded. So that's something that we need desperately in the first team. And again, it's a player developed in our organization. We don't have to go and pay millions for this guy. So that to me, that's what makes it special. The fact that we are harvesting this product in house, and these guys are the beginning of many more players to come.
Yeah, I mean he plays striker for the academy, plays striker for Orlando City B a lot, but
In
on the ball
house.
he's probably next to Ramiro Enrique if that's where he plays on the senior team. He's probably has the most ball skill over especially Duncan, and I feel like Muriel IQ wise, because of how dumb Muriel can play at times. He even has, IQ wise, he may be have the highest IQ of all the strikers, between the Orlando City B and the senior team. Just needs a little bit of polishing, a little, get used to the physicality of playing against grown men rather than 17, 18 year olds. There's a big difference between a 22-year-old and an 18-year-old a lot of times. And I think he'll really take off once he starts to get senior team minutes.
Excellent. OCB played recently, right?
Yep.
Against the New England Rev. I believe, was it?
Yes, it was. Yeah, played yesterday, I believe it was against the New England. Yeah, it was yesterday against New England Revolution. I didn't get to catch the match. David, were you able to watch it?
No, unfortunately, I was running errands because that's what happens
Running
when you
errands.
have
What?
yeah. Adulting, man. I was adulting yesterday. I went to renew my passports and get Ivy her passport for the first time, as we are planning to visit family in Italy next year. And I am about $1,000 lighter because our State Department keeps raising the prices.
Ouch.
Yeah, brother. It's my oldest kid because he's already over 16. The price went up 100 something dollars, and Ivy because she's getting her passport for her first time. By the way, um, getting a toddler to take a passport picture, impossible mission. My wife ended up having to take the camera away from the post office employee to get it, and there's still a chance they may reject the picture. He said, "Well, don't worse." And they don't really care so much for the little ones. But
Wow.
yeah, Ivy did not like the guy at all. Yeah, it was probably the worst 2.5 hours of my life. Not so much for
Oh
the
my
things that we
god.
had to do, but I had to individually pay for each passport with my
Oof.
debit card. And the guy making jokes like, "Oh, I bet your account is lighter." And I like, dude, just don't say anything. Just stay
It's like
quiet.
you're not making it any better.
Right, right. But hopefully we will have a good time in Naples, Italy next year, and so
Nice.
that's the plan. So, but
Good
I didn't
stuff.
get a chance to see it 3-0. There was some very good highlights. We stopped PK spectacular fashion, but and I say this in the best way possible. OCB is in a transitional period where the guys that were carrying the team on their shoulders have moved on to the first team, and the young talent there is finding their footing, and we're finding what works. And to steal the words from our management, OCB is not there to lift trophies or win games; it's to develop talent. And the cynics will say, "Well, how can you develop talent if you don't win games?" But you know it is what it is. Obviously, we're doing something right as we have some incredible players that have joined the first team, and it looks like
Looks
Ahmed. We
like
lost
Ahmed
Ahmed.
lost.
That's
Yeah,
the
David. I mean, what you're saying,
oh, there
I'm
he
like,
is. Hey,
there
my
he's
brother.
back.
Good.
I thought about that earlier. Earlier this week, maybe it was yesterday. When I saw the lineup, I'm like, I don't know who half these people are. But you look at the ages of the players, and compared to that to where we were, 3-4 years ago, with we had a bunch of guys in their mid to late 20s mainly that had been MLS journeymen. Were trying to hang on to their careers by playing for an academy, a reserve team, and yeah, they did okay, but you look at the starting lineup of the team yesterday, and I believe the average age was around 20 years of age. That's without doing any real research, but just look at the picture that's up on the screen. You have Reed Brown, that's 18 or 19. You have Caraballo right there, that's 16. You have Shaq, who's the veteran of the team, because I think he's 22 or 23. You can see Thomas Williams peeking over there. He's 21. Gusky's 17 or 18.
Guys that will get carded at any gas station in this state. I mean, that's a good thing, brother. Uh,
Yeah,
So,
man.
all these guys are, really young guys. I mean, yeah, I can't think of his name now, but the keeper, he's 25 or 26, but, you know,
Mercado.
Mercado, yeah. But the guy that's above Mercado on the, quote unquote depth chart is Otero, and he's 22. So we got a lot of young talent in our system, a lot of
Senior citizens. They're all senior citizens.
a lot to look forward to in the future, which is why right now, yeah, it stinks being an Orlando City fan a little bit, especially the last month and a half. But the future in 5 years, there's a lot. The roots are definitely there that will be around for a while.
Yeah.
And they do have a match coming up here later this week, if the link loads.
Oh, it's
Um,
local? It's a home match?
I don't recall.
Let me
I
see.
was hoping
It
there we go.
appears that it's
No,
away
it's
in
an away
Huntsville.
match against
Oh,
Huntsville on Friday at 8 p.m., which will be during the senior team's match because the senior team plays Friday this week.
all right. We have any other news to cover? This tomorrow. Is it tomorrow, David?
Tomorrow.
That we have the if you are a season ticket holder, they have the meet and greet, I'll call it, with the players and the barbecue. Um,
Correct.
if you did not already get your tickets, check your email. You should have them in there. I believe it is from 5 till 8.
Five,
Um,
5 to 8. Correct.
yeah. I will be there probably later just because of scheduling. It's a weird time to be scheduling something because you figure if somebody works, you know, some of us have to work to kind of pay for our tickets. So I don't know. Maybe 5 o'clock was not the best time to start something like that. But what do I know? Anyway, so 5 to 8, I believe it's going to be over by the side where they usually have the fan zone, if I'm not
Right.
mistaken.
Yeah. Main Street. I always tell people where the church used to be. If you're
Yeah,
an Orlando City fan, you don't need to be told. But it's by Gate B,
yeah,
or the east side of the stadium.
yeah. So
And
it's
parking
definitely a
will be
great
right
opportunity.
there in the Main Street tailgate lot, kind of in the same block,
Yeah,
right there. And it's complimentary, first come, first serve.
yeah,
And so it's you have to have tickets. Is for season ticket holders, unfortunately.
yeah,
If you want to participate on those things, you know what to do. Sign
yeah,
up. For those people that keep saying, "Oh, well, when I was a season ticket holder, they didn't do these things." Well, they're doing them now.
yeah. And
And
if you can support it, please show up. Even like I said, I'm
yes,
not going to get there till later, but this way they know that these are the types of things we are looking forward to, and then they could do more, they could do better. But let's at least go out and support it if we can, just to show that we are happy with the events that they are doing.
Absolutely.
Yeah. Okay. Are we ready to jump in head first into a half empty pool?
Yep.
Because that's how I feel right now. All right. So since we last met, uh, our team has played 2 matches. The first of which was this past Wednesday, July the 17th at 7:30 p.m. Um, a rain delay occurred. Um, we were playing NYCFC, and I was able to attend. I had some guests with me. I actually had um, invited my son's former coach, who happens to ironically be Nixon Perea, Andres Perea's father. So in front of me was sitting a group of NYCFC supporters in our section, and all was going well um, until the very end of the match when they started to get very happy. I was so disappointed with how we played. All right. And I also had guests with me who were very casual fans, and we were talking about the team, and they were like, "Is this how they always play?" Because they do know. One of the people with me was like, "They do know that if they go to the outside, then to the inside, they'll probably get the ball further closer to the goal, right?" I'm like, "Well, logic seems to defy some thoughts on occasion." Anyway, I will save my thoughts for the match. Um, what do you gents think? I mean, I'll just put it out there. Just let me know your thoughts, and we'll take it from
Yeah,
there.
I thought the free kick was, our one goal, the free kick was something that has been there, multiple times when we've had free kicks in that position to kind of use a little bit of trickery to get the ball into the back of the net. Um, brilliant set piece there with the little, Ojeda kind of acting like he's resetting the ball and then tapping it to Muriel and Muriel passing it back to Ojeda. Muriel finally had a goal contribution. I think that was the first time in 10 matches at that point that he had a goal contribution. Um, but then we go up 1-0, and where have you guys heard this before? We play poppy ball where we sit back and let New York control the possession, and basically just like with the Montreal match, a lot of matches at home, the Atlanta match away, we slowly but surely lose our composure one way or the other, sitting back defending that long, and we, Schlegel concedes. No, that was the Montreal match, the penalty. Um, Same color jerseys, basically, guys. Give me a break.
Yeah, really.
But we're just playing. You can tell the guys are mentally drained. We take off all of our attackers. Basically, we sit back and try to absorb the pressure. And what happens? We give up 2 late goals. New York City pulls ahead instead of continuing. I mean, we dominated that first match. Was it great on our end? No, but we still dominated that first match. And there was no reason for us to sit back and defend the way we were. New York was tired by the end of that first half. New York couldn't run with us. They're used to that mini pitch that they have inside of Yankee Stadium. They're not used to a full size pitch. And what do? We play right into their hands. We compress it into the game into one half of the field, and we get played, essentially played off the pitch at our own stadium again. And I'm sick of it. I'm tired of it. If that's the way we're going to play, probably, unless there's drastic changes in the next couple months, won't be renewing my season tickets, because I'm not going to waste, it's not just 2 hours at the stadium for us. Barrett likes to tailgate. My girlfriend likes to tailgate. I enjoy tailgating. It's an 8-hour venture that, and we sit in the cheap seats, costs us way too much money to go to every every other week, sometimes multiple times in a week. Heck, you go back to the end of May, we had a span of 4 home matches in 15 days or something like that.
Yeah.
That's a lot of money we're dishing out, and and then you add into the time, and we just sit there and watch the team time after time again just flounder and fall flat. And I went into the match, and you guys can attest this. I went into the match Saturday, woke up Saturday morning, thought about my day and what was coming up, and one of the first things I texted was, to anybody was in our group, not looking forward to today. We're probably going to lose. And Miss A, I was like, oh, don't ruin my day. I'm trying to be positive and this and that and the other. And called it, 8 hours before the match started.
Yeah.
And the fact that I can do that and other people can do that, because I texted a couple other people essentially the same thing, and they all agreed with me and said, yep, not looking forward to tonight, is sad. I used to look forward to going to the matches and thinking that we had a chance to win every match. And, especially the last couple months, it really hasn't felt that way, because we only have 18 points at home this year versus 20 on the road. And that's not
No.
good enough.
We haven't had a win at home since the game against Portland. Right? And in the famous words of Miguel Gallardo, if you claim to be a championship team, you have to win the games at home. Those are his words, not mine. right? It is truly frustrating because we're dropping points against teams that are completely winnable games for us. That's the issue, you know? And it's like we turn into, like David says, we turn into charity FC, right? When are we going to be the ones who receive the charity? Because that doesn't happen. You know, it's like you give. So for me, like I said, the last few matches, it's not about how we win. If we win, it's about how we play, and we are not playing. The consistency is not there. One night we push out a result, and then the other one, it's like where's the same team that we saw the week before? There's not that consistency there, and we're not gonna get into the New England game yet because you could look at that and be like, well, here you go. No, because these last three games were against teams that were all below us, right? And the one that we lost was against the team that was the closest to us.
Right, and there's only 5 home games left. For the people that were going online, there's a lot of season to be played.
Yeah, right.
No, there is not.
No,
There's
it's like,
there's 6 away games, 5 home games. That's 11.
yeah,
Obviously, 10 at this point because we already play New England. So there's 10, five
yeah,
away, 5 at home. Two of those away games, or two of those 10 games are against Western opposition. That sort of doesn't help you because even if you win them, you're not taking points away from teams in your bracket, in your conference.
yeah.
Um, I have to say, unfortunately, I couldn't make it, but I watched it at home. Glad that our Walter Roque and Sergio Ruiz, our good friends, Orlando City guys through and through, were on the call for Apple Plus, and and he hurt me because I know it's on a personal note. Sergio told me, he hates, he fakes it. He's like, I'll call the goals. It doesn't matter who because that's my job. But seeing that last goal just killed me. The game was a winnable game. First of all, New York City, one of the worst teams on the road. I believe they only had one win on the road before coming to Orlando. Like John already mentioned, they are very good at home because they're a team built on let's win at home and whatever happens on the road. They are very compact team. They look gas. It was a hot, humid night in Orlando. We looked out of our depth. The goal by Robin Jansen, incredible goal. But let's be honest, he's a defender. What was happening with our offensive players? We don't know. In the end, a lot of people were very hopeful because our GM Ricardo Moreira posted after the game on Saturday that things were gonna change. That basically laying it out, like we mentioned before. The fact is that he's sticking his neck out there. We never had ownership people in the ownership team, in the management team, being that honest with the fan base that this was unacceptable. You always got the, oh, we support we love the supporters and thank you guys and we're gonna get better. But we never actually saw somebody saying, hey, this is bad, this is not what we want. And when after that game, people were like, "Oh, I'm waiting for Ricardo's tweet." That never came. And to be honest with you, he did not need to have one. It's a statement saying nothing because it appeared that when we went to New England, it was a different perspective, obviously. But the game can be summarized as this: 80th minute, we're winning 1-0. Things were not going our way, and then we make a stupid mistake, an own goal, unacceptable, zero communication. In my opinion, I know a lot of people are blaming Schlegel for it. I think the blame is actually on Smith, that is in a channel that he was not able to do anything. He should have never been there. You can see it in the reaction by Galese and Schlegel that, like, what are you doing here? What's happening? And in the end, we kept trying those. I hate short corner kicks. I feel that they're ineffective every team that I support, every manager that has tried to implement those things, to me, it's just a waste of time. Just put it in the box. That's all you
Mhm.
have to do. Create chaos. The ball may go in, but no, we do a short with all our team practically on the baseline, and the poor Icelandic Dagger Dan on an
That's
island.
the way they always do it. You watch our corners; every corner kick is that way.
Yeah, man, unacceptable,
And
brother. Like,
I haven't said it on the show because we've never been caught out. But me and my dad question it all the time when we're watching matches. What happens if? Well, it almost happened 2 times, and I know we haven't covered the New England match yet, but it almost happened twice in 2 matches. You know, and then I disagree with you. I disagree with a lot of people. It happened right in front of me, the own goal, and I watched it back on TV. Schlegel's trying to clear the ball over top of our goal. He's running towards our goal. Kyle Smith's coming kind of from the side and trying to clear it out wide, and Schlegel's trying to seemingly either hit it above him, which where he kicked it, it wasn't going anywhere but over the goal. Um, but either way, the fact that the ball got into that area, got
Area.
to the far post,
Yep.
basically hit the ground before any of our players reacted to it, is the issue. And that corner kick, why one, why Poppy constantly sets it up to where we have one, maybe two guys kind of back, is beyond me. And we got caught out. That's plain and simple. It goes back to what we've always said with Poppy. He either knows how to defend really well, fully defend or fully attack. There's really never been any in between with him. And he sits there and, we talked the first month and a half of the season about how, he's changed and he's changed his tactics because we're scoring goals and we're defending at the same time, controlling possession of games and, you know, looking really good. And then he signs a contract, and magically we go on a stretch of what was it, six matches drawn 0-0 or whatever it was, and our form's been up and down since then, and it's been a lot of how he's played the last 2 or 3 seasons. Since basically Nani left in 22, it's been how we played, and even at the end of 21, we lost to Nashville by trying to defend and counter. So it's been, in the playoffs. I was there at that match. I watched it. I watched them score the second goal. We pushed up too high trying to attack, got caught out. They did it was on the half counter and they scored. And, you know, people that want to defend Poppy, guess what? He's human. People can do things wrong. That's part of humanity, is making mistakes and doing things wrong. Also part of being a person and having a job is sometimes, especially when it's a results driven job at the highest level in this country, drawing and losing games at home consistently year after year like this team does isn't good enough. Even when we were scoring goals, we were doing it on the counterattack. How'd our goal come, on Wednesday? On the counterattack. It's been the same thing for almost 4 seasons now. We're at 3.5 seasons, 22, 23, and 24, and over half of 25, where every year, 23 and 24, 23 was the first year me and David did a show together. But you go back to 23, we said the same thing at the beginning of the year. 24 said the same thing at the beginning of the year. This year, we're playing well at the beginning of the year. Poppy signs a new contract. All of a sudden, it's back to the way Poppy's been playing because his feet aren't held to the fire. He just signed a cushy 3-year extension. I said it in our put it on the show on the show's account on X. When is enough enough? I'm tired of this. Like I said earlier, if it continues this way, we won't be renewing our season tickets. I'll watch it at home. It's a lot cheaper to watch it at home and pay the what is it, $13 a month for the MLS pass than to spend next year Barrett needs tickets. For our tickets, that's going to be if they don't go up, about $77 a month.
Yeah.
Hey, John, when do they start charging for children?
It used to be 5. I believe it's 3 or 4 now.
Really?
Yeah.
I
Ah,
mean, let's be honest. Three is way too young. Criticism. I mean, you know,
honestly, especially in the supporters section. I mean, give me a break.
uh,
That's nuts. Like in the supporters section, oh please. It's not like
no.
there's a seat anyway. It's not like you have a seat.
Most teams in other leagues, they don't start charging till age 7.
Well,
Really.
it's because the Wilfs just see us. The Wilfs. Remember, the Wilfs own the stadium, and it's a stadium policy. And the Wilfs should see us as Orlando City fans as an ATM that they know 2 times a month from the 1st of March to at least mid October. A lot of time, hopefully mid November to early December. 2 times a month, they'll have us there to take our money for concessions and the tickets and all of that. And then they know in the off season, if they release a couple cool things, people will buy that too. Then the jerseys that they come out with every year, that's all the Wills care about. They came into the league and bought us in the summer of 21, came in saying they were going to bring trophies, bring championships, and bring something to be proud of on the city, or something for the city to be proud of. And what have they brought? Us lucking into a U.S. Open Cup? Because I could flip a coin 100 times and feel more confident that now looking back that we would win that make it to the championship, let alone make it to the semifinal or final that year. Because what was it? Three of our four matches, 2 of our 3 matches leading up to that semifinal where we blew Red Bulls out was decided by penalties.
Yes, it was Nashville, it was Miami, and it was no, I guess those two. Philadelphia almost went that way if it wasn't for Mason Stoudemire pulling the save of his life. And let's be honest, I mean, we were out
And we
of
played
it.
two USL teams,
Yeah, yes, 3 times. Oh
Tampa.
yeah, we played 2 USL teams. That's very true. And three times we were quote unquote out of it until we had some magic of the cup poured on that pitch, and that was the game against Nashville and the game against Miami, where we pull it out of what to win it. It was a magical run. We played at home,
Oh, I'm happy
so
it happened. Trust me, I'm very happy it happened. I
no,
would
for
relive it
sure.
again 100 times, a
But
million
have
times.
we been able to harness that magic again?
No,
Not this year,
because
not
who
the
have
year
we
before
signed?
that.
Who have
So
we signed to bring the city pride? Sure, Facundo. Obviously, he doesn't care. What this was just a stepping stone for him.
right,
He
right.
never posts about our club. Cara, is that who we signed? No.
Yeah,
Marcus
yeah,
seems to care. We signed Muriel. Well, that's a whole can of worms we'll open after we talk about New England.
right.
What have they brought to the city to be proud of?
Well, I'm gonna be honest with you, John. I think that the guys from our academy that went to OCB and made the first
They
team.
have nothing to do with that, David.
No,
The
but
Wilfs have
I think
nothing to
those
do with that.
guys, do care about where we are. We have players that show a lot of, desire to win. In my personal opinion, we had some guys over the years that fit that mold. I think, Marco Pasalic, out of all the people that we have brought into the club, is to me is a solid signing for three main things. Number one, the guy is talented. Number two, the guy treats Orlando like not like a stepping stone, but like, okay, it's a destination. I want to be here. I want to win. Here. And the other one that is that is very critical is he plays to win the game. People like Robin Jansen, who has been here for a long time at this point, are people that that are Europeans that they already played in Europe. So coming here is just part of of they want to be here. But if we are going to go to South America to draw people that want to go to Europe, they're gonna grow impatient. And with Facundo Torres, is important to remember that he really wanted to go simply because his national team manager said, if you play in MLS, you're not gonna play for my team.
Yeah.
And when you put out a situation like that, well, he has to go. We thank him, like everybody knows. I met his dad when the through the signing process and all that. And I always thought his family were top notch folks. And every time I met Facundo, he was always super nice. He remembered the guys that went to the airport to receive him, and he left, with a lot of love for the city in his heart. Is it the same affection that he has for Peñarol? No, no, it's not. He left, and it's over and it's done. And like you said, I don't see him posting anything about us, and that's perfectly okay. Players come and go, the supporter remains. We always
Yeah.
say. But to finish with that, I think you know have we had a signing that we can rally around,
that
that
the
we can
Wolves
see?
have made
I don't think
during the
we
last
have
10 years.
so far, and that will happen when we sign a local kid that is willing to get on, catch fire here. Is Gustavo Caraballo that guy? We don't know yet. And as much as I love Duncan, Duncan is not from here. In interviews, when they tell him, "Hey, what's gonna happen after your football career is over?" I'm gonna go home. And when he says home, he's talking about Nebraska. He's not talking about here. So, you know, one of the things that overseas teams have that we don't have in MLS yet, or perhaps we don't have in Orlando. Let me rephrase that: is that we don't have people who, like Barrett or Little Ivy here by my feet, that are being raised on those terraces. They want to become professional footballers. They go through the academy, they make the OCB, they make the first team, and boom, they're superstars. We don't have that yet. We're
Yeah.
working towards that. God willing, we're gonna see that in our lifetime.
Yeah,
In
and I
our
mean
lifetime.
the
Go ahead,
first
bro.
one we'll have, and obviously this isn't a knock against Thomas Williams, but I believe he would have been, just doing some quick math in my head, 10 years. He would have been 11 or 12 when the first MLS season happened. Um, which is crazy to think, but that's he would have been 11 or
Yeah, we
12.
haven't had well, I think
So
Caraballo probably is the closest
Caraballo,
to.
or I was going to say Typhe's really the first one that you could say you know had that. You look at what his mom posts on it. She posted an amazing thing when he signed his contract of him through the stages of the academy. Amazing, like legitimately, like makes you a little bit about as emotional as a photo collage can make anybody next to one at a funeral. um and so I feel like a Typhe, Ellis, and then definitely a Caraballo would be the kind of the first one that would fit that mold of going to matches, going through the fully through the academy system, or at least being that age that they weren't a quote unquote a part of the Orlando City, by being in the academy, and they were able to watch them and everything. But
You have to be 13 years or younger to say that you were born after Orlando City. So it's very 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 short window there.
Yeah. The thing I would add to David's point about Marco, I think the thing that we're overlooking because we're so used to it not happening is this is his first season with the team. We're used to signing these players who are supposed to be fabulous, and then they show up, and then the excuse becomes, oh, well, they need time to learn the system. They need time to gel. They need time to learn Poppy's system. They need time to do this. They need time to acclimate. And these are guys who've been playing. I'm not, forget the academy kids for a second, because that's a given. That's an experience thing. You're talking about these experienced players that we signed, like Kara, like Muriel, like Faku, like Pasalic. Look at Pasalic. Pasalic is an example of what we should be looking for in these players, in that he shows up. This is his first. I feel like we overlook that because we're just that's what we should expect from our DPs. Even Ojeda, who's doing a great job now, and I'm not saying why he did it because of Faku and all that stuff and whatnot, but regardless, it's taken a while for him to get to that point. We need to figure out why that is with these other players, or what makes Marco different, that he just picked up when he got in and he started making that difference. That's what DPs do. Like, look at Barbara Banda when she joined the Pride. She didn't take a season or two. She was scoring from the beginning. So I
They
think
won a championship for her first year
that's
here,
what I'm saying.
and
So yeah, I don't
you
know.
know, Clive Aribo, the Israeli player at Philadelphia, was interviewed today, and he said something that I agree with. He's like, you're born with a talent. You don't have to be taught how to score goals. You're just born with a talent. And I think one of the things that I watched on a YouTube video a while back was the fact that this person was saying, I think in the United States we are uh, trying to over explain things. Kids in Brazil, you can find kids having a pickup game in the street, and they just play the game. And by doing that, they are allowed creativity. They are allowed to self expression, and they are allowed to find their way. And that's why that country has the type of players they have, and the names that
Well,
we all recognize.
you see
But
that
here in the
being
states,
lost, David, now a little bit with especially I'll say Brazil, because what happens to a Brazilian player now when they're 16, 17 years and they're on the senior team and playing well? He gets moved over to Europe.
right, and then
They
you
lose,
are
they
industrialized.
lose a
You're
lot of that creativity and
Hmm.
what's happened. Since that started happening, about 15, 20 years ago, what's happened to the Brazilian national team? They've not done very well. For them, very well is winning a World Cup in that time. They haven't won a World Cup since the '02 one, I think it was.
Uh, 2002 was the last one,
Yeah,
was it?
2002.
Yeah.
So you look at team, you look at what teams have won it, and it's been the same. Really the same three teams since then: Brazil, Spain, and France.
And by the way, that 2002 Brazilian team was a who's who of
Oh
world
yeah,
football.
Hmm.
I mean, that starting 11 is a Hall of Famers, really, all of them.
well, you
You
look at
put
Brazil and really the whole teams 12, 14, and then 18. It was the same way. You would have had Marcelo at left back. You would have had oh man, I
Neymar, I
lost his
think,
name.
at that point.
Neymar would have been there. You would have had the center back. I can see his face. Played for PSG. Chelsea picked him up for free because PSG wouldn't sign him. Oh my gosh, it's killing me because there's a famous song that starts with him. Um, Somebody could comment that, that'd be greatly appreciated because it's going to kill me the rest of the night. But it would have been, you got to think that the Brazilian team in '02 had five players that were the who's who. The team throughout the teams would have had, three or four, of the who's who. Neymar, Marcelo, the center back, and then I know I'm forgetting somebody in the midfield. So there's no reason that they wouldn't have had, Hulk would have probably been their forward. I'm guessing. So there's no reason that they couldn't have won it. We could go down a rabbit hole talking about all that,
Yeah.
but to bring it back, yes, Paslic is a great signing, but you got to look. Why did we sign him? Because he was a quality
Yeah.
player for our team, but he was also cheap.
Yeah.
I think we only signed him for 4 or 5 million. Got his contract for $4 or $5 million.
Yeah. No, I agree. I'm just saying, when we have these DPs that we sign, and there's like all these, I feel like there's these excuses where, okay, they give them time. They don't always need the time.
No,
They
they
shouldn't need the
shouldn't need the
time.
time.
That
Yeah,
and that's what I'm saying. They shouldn't need the time. We've gotten so used to them needing the time that when you have somebody who shows up and does what they're supposed to, you're like, oh my God, you're a superstar. Well, no, because that's what they're supposed to be. Like, somebody like Muriel should be running circles around Pasalic just because of his experience and because of his background. But obviously that's not the case,
mm-hmm.
right? Like, in theory, on paper, and we know it's not on paper, but I mean, think of the years of experience.
It's got to, and the whole passage thing. I think it has to do with a grittiness because if he didn't sign for the club he was with before us, go back to when he did the interview with MLS. He already had his brother already had a job lined up for him with his construction company.
Mm-hmm.
You know, and I
Yeah.
mean we're talking about Paslic, somebody who's made an appearance, was on the bench several times for Dortmund, which is, if there's tiers of clubs, Real Madrid, Bayern, and Barcelona, and at this time I'll say Liverpool and Man City are in that top tier. That tier right below those teams is Dortmund. Last season, 2 seasons ago at this point, just played in a UEFA Champions League final. He made an appearance for them, made a couple appearances for them, I believe, and a couple year, an injury, and a year later, and he's 2 years later, maybe he's without a job, looking at going and working construction. That does something to somebody that gives them that work ethic. Or you look at somebody like Nani, who basically
Mm-hmm.
took off right away. The dude grew up living essentially on the streets. So he had that grittiness that he needed.
That drive.
You know,
Yeah, I
And,
agree.
and let's be honest. Look at San Diego, first year in the league, top of the East, top of the West. I'm sorry. So the idea that players need time. Okay, maybe that's truthful for some people, but 11 seasons, 10 years in the league, and with a manager that's going on 7 years running the show, and a front office that has been basically the same for many years now. How long do we have to wait? And again, I think, like I said, is sometimes it's unfair to start screaming about results. Both of my overseas teams had played preseason games, both lost them, and people were calling for heads.
Mm-hmm.
People were trying to burn the whole thing down. It's just preseason, one game, for the love of God. It's supposed
Yeah.
to be a time to like try different things, and put players that usually you don't play together, etc., etc. But the fact is that people in Orlando, like I have said every show, had sat there and seen teams like New York City, who came to the league with us, and win the darn thing. And we're still waiting. This is a team that plays in a baseball stadium, for the love of God. And
Yeah.
and they already have a star above their crest. How long do we have to wait? That's the
and
question
they're a
right there.
team that's the fifth team, as far as tier, the sixth team in their city, professional team. As far as people caring, I'd even maybe put them seven. I feel like people care a little bit more about the Red Bulls than care
Yeah,
about.
that city has like two teams of each in each league. If there
Mhm.
was a
Oh no,
cornhole
yeah,
league,
put them below hockey. You're right.
they will have two more teams.
So they're probably ninth or tenth in the pecking order. We're in Orlando. We have one other professional team, and our ownership can't take it seriously. And it's not at this point. It's not seemingly. You
Yeah.
know.
And I for it, this is not about specific players. This is just more about the expectations of those players and when they perform and how they perform. So if you're listening, don't be like, "Oh, you guys are hating on so and so," or "You're hating on." It's not about that. It's
Well,
about
and
you
it
have
has
these
to be
players.
players that are going to respect the crest too, respect the supporters. The
Yeah.
way those players acted after the New York City match, the majority of them, I think there was maybe 5 to 7 players, your usual suspects, your Janssen, your Kyle Smith, Dagger Dan, I believe, came up. A couple other players came up, and thanked the wall for being out on a work night after an hour basically rain delay.
Yep.
5 players came up after that performance.
Yeah.
Most of those players weren't even man enough to come up, thank the supporters, and if they faced any grief, face it. Because guess what? Player performances like that in Europe and what the team's been going through. What do we see all the time make circulations in social media when a team is performing like our team's doing that has such high expectations? They're right there getting a word from the lead capo, from the
Yeah.
support of the ultras. Not in our team. The main supporter groups want to say how they're just happy to be there, and that's just not good enough for me. That's the other reason that I'm not involved in the other any official supporter groups anymore. I go to the games and I support a team to watch them win. not to sit there and waste my time in a humid, rainy Wednesday night when I have to be up early in the morning to go to work, and and I had my son with me by myself because my girlfriend's been having some tooth things, and that part's just part of being a father. But the fact that we're out there supporting them, 18 to 20,000, because it was a packed Wednesday night match too. Think about how many
Yeah,
I
people.
was shocked to see that many people.
it
That was a
was.
very good crowd for a Wednesday night. And those players, the majority of those players, don't even have enough respect for us supporters who, if it wasn't for us, there wouldn't even be a club.
But John, they were
They-
tired and they just lost.
Good. I'll trade places with them, and I'll make the league minimum, which by the way is a little bit more than I make now. But I'd be much happier playing a sport, making what heck I'll even take the same exact salary I'm making now to go to trade places with one of those players.
Yeah.
Have
No.
you guys are you guys familiar with that meme of the Argentinian guy saying, these guys, they live in a country club,
Yes.
they're playing FIFA, they got the and he starts like saying all the things that these guys do only to lose it at the end, saying and you sky the ball when you are like a
Yes.
foot away from the
Yes.
that to me sums up what happened Wednesday night. And one of the things that I have to tell our audience, when we lose and when we go on losing streaks, our audience goes through the roof. Because when we win games, nobody wants to tune in to four guys talking about winning. They don't care about that. They care. They want to come when either to laugh at us or to join the misery when we are losing. I'm here to tell you, if we go on a 10 game winning streak, we're gonna be lucky to have 10 guys watching us live, 20 guys on audio, and 20 guys on YouTube. Because here we don't mask it. We have said it before. We're not the most popular show. There's other shows that are overflowing with audiences because they tell you what you want to hear. Here on this show, we're gonna tell you what you don't want to hear, because a lot of people stand in line for winning, but very few people want to stand in line to do the things that get you to win. And we love the club, and that's why we're so critical of it. And I am tired. And this is why I have to say it, I have returned to X or Twitter. I'm not putting it out there. If you want to find me, go find me. I was very busy blocking all those accounts of negativity, because I honestly, God, I don't have time for nonsense. I don't have time for the people that basically crank up. Everything is awesome when you're part of a team 24/7. I want to visit those people's places of employment.
No, we lost that. We
Oh
lost
boy.
David.
They
Nick,
fail
that
if
was
they
Nick.
fail to meet metrics. How those employers deal with those people? Because us, I'm gonna say it. The reason why I did not go to the game was simply because I was stuck at work, last minute thing. My job is feast or famine is explosive. I could have a day doing nothing, and 5 minutes before clocking out, quote unquote, I got all hell breaking loose, and I'm working till 3 o'clock in the morning. That's my job,
Yeah.
and I get paid accordingly. But the reality is that when I go to the stadium, when I sit there, I want the same devotion and in a critical desire to win from those players, because I'm paying for this, because nobody gifted me that money. And I gotta be honest with you, John. I cannot make threats of, oh, I'm not renewing my season tickets, because I love going to Orlando City, and they know
Well,
it.
we're not
They
all as rich as
abuse
you,
it.
David.
No, I know, right? They know it, and they abuse it, my friend. They know that is empty threats from David Valentin when I say those
For
things.
those that don't know, that's an old Twitter thing that he
Yeah,
went
I
on
hear
a
you,
thing
brother.
and told
I hear
somebody that
you.
makes more money than them and all this.
Yeah, yeah. It's
Just for those that,
ridiculous.
that
It's
were
I live. I'm a middle class guy. At the you know. I mean, I will be rich if I didn't have 3 kids and a wife and bills. I would be like that guy on that meme. Everybody mad because I'm making money. Listen, I work with guys that are single that are swimming on cash, and I laugh because I like, one of the guys that I work with just got engaged. I'm like, yeah, enjoy, buddy, because that money soon is gonna be gone. But I digress. The fact is that to me, to buy my ticket is a luxury. I'm gonna be honest with you, it's a luxury to go to the games, and I'm gonna be, and I have said this before. I don't get mad when we lose if we go and give everything that we have. But if we lose the way we lost Wednesday, then I have a problem with that. I really have a problem with that because I felt that we gave the game away. It's 80th minute and you're losing. Look, I'm gonna give you an example, and that way we can move on to New England. Um, the team that was the love of my life, introduced me to sports, is a basketball team that plays in the Puerto Rico basketball league from my hometown of Bayamon. They're in the finals. They have been around 95 years. They have 16 championships, more than anybody else, and they were down 30 points, and in one quarter they came close to 1 point to win it, and they failed. But we lost, but I felt like, oh man, we gave it all. Deficit of 30 points, we came back from it. That's what I'm talking about. If you see your guys fighting for their life to get that win, great. But I think that there's a lot of factors. Again, I'm not at training every day. I just want to see from my guys zero excuses, all heart. This fan base loves sweat equity, and man, I tell you what, there's a reason why Adrian Winter, the Austrian, or I'm sorry, the Swiss, is still beloved and remembered by many here. Why? Because that guy played like he was born and raised in Orlando. And I don't think that we haven't had many players like that, guys. That
I
are
can
not
think of
from here
three
that
on the
give
team right
respect.
now, and that's it. Three guys that regularly play, that you know match in and match out. I can say that you can tell how they work. I'm not saying that other guys don't hustle and all this, but there's three guys on the team: Janssen, Kyle Smith, and Paslich are three guys that. And Paslich is still newer, so jury's still kind of out on him. But definitely Kyle Smith and Robin Janssen, you will never question their
And
heart
I'm gonna throw it
when they
out there.
believe in
Kyle
it.
Smith, you need to give your shirt to John. From Cincinnati guy to Cincinnati guy. Finish the game. Go over there to the wall and toss your jersey at this man. You know. And I tell you what. Let's talk about Kyle Smith. We have said it all hard, and yeah, what happened at New York City. Okay, a mistake, whatever. But the fact is that we need more of that, man. We need more heart, more stamina, more decision, and that's exactly what happened when we went to New England. You know, Ojeda, Tincho Ojeda is on fire.
Yeah.
The first goal, impressive, brutal control. And I thought that we were gonna either get a tie or see them win it,
Yeah.
but the
The-
team was on fire. I wish that would have given us that performance at home, but you know what? I'll take the 3 points.
yeah, I mean, I'll take it for sure. For me, it was a win. We'll take a win. Was it a pretty win? No. Were we playing better? Yes. Am I celebrating anything right now? Absolutely not. Because like I said before, all three of these teams that we've played are below us in the standings. This is how we should be playing. So I'm not going to celebrate us doing what we should finally doing. It's like my son does his homework and I'm like, I celebrate that he does his homework when that's what he's supposed to be doing. No, it's like you should be getting straight A's. And okay, yeah, that's what you should be doing. So it's great that maybe they got out of their funk or whatever, but consistency is the ask right now. Beating New England proves that we're capable, but we need to get that whatever they figure it out and keep it going over the next, I don't know, let me see, 5 games or so, because I'm looking at it and we have Columbus, Inter Miami, Sporting Kansas City, Nashville, and the Whitecaps. So you tell me
Oof.
our past 3 performances are what we repeat going forward, or you know what? Let me be nicer. If we repeat the performance against New England for the next 5 games, do you think that'll be enough? I don't think so. That'll be barely enough, right? If we play like that, we're gonna have our you know what's handed to us,
Yeah,
and
and if Miami
right.
gets hot, guys, if Miami gets hot, then they're basically gonna take one of the top four spots. One team is gonna get bounced out. Um, my fear is, and that fear will probably be reinforced or dissipated when we play Miami, because it's gonna be at home. And if we beat them, then then we're gonna go all the way. We finished fifth, and they finished fourth. Guess who we're playing? You know what I'm saying? If we finish sixth, and they finish third, guess who we're playing? So I a lot of people that know more football than me that I have spoken to, they don't think that we are going to be in a home advantage position, which is critical on the first round. But I was reminded by very good people that Atlanta got in as a wild card team, and they beat the pants out of Miami in Miami when they had their back against the wall, only to be defeated by us. And,
Do you think the league's actually going to let that happen again? They're not going to let that
oh
happen.
man, I'm telling you, brother. I'm with you. They lost millions because of that, and and all that thanks to Orlando City legend Rob Valentino. Which, by the way, I just found out that Rob is coaching the U.S. U19s. I think, in my opinion, that Rob Valentino was cheated out of an MLS coaching job. That's still a possibility out there. And if we ever part ways with Oscar, Rob, to me, it's a suitable replacement. But the situation is that it's gonna be very difficult, guys. So we can't have, and I'm sorry, you had Ray's comment there in a second. I'll shut up so we can read it. The fact is that these 10 games that we have left are gonna say a lot about our season, and a lot about Oscar, and a lot about the players. Not the fans. Like John said, fans are showing up on a Wednesday, on a rainy Wednesday, muggy, rainy Wednesday, to support his club. So it's not the fans. The official count was 18,000 plus for a Wednesday. That is fantastic.
Yeah, I mean, my dad took the words right out of my mouth. He said New England was being played the same as previous 4 games. There was no reason they tied the game. We were lucky to get a quick goal. And then the best thing about last week was we got 3 points, not 2 or 1. Yeah, I mean, I watching the match, I didn't see much that was different than when we played New York or Montreal. I'll put the stats up on the screen here.
The biggest difference was our goal didn't come from a set piece, because that was super frustrating to
Yeah, but
me.
it still came from a counter. Didn't come,
Yeah, yeah,
both,
that's true.
both of them came from a counter, not.
Our goals were impressive. Theirs, I called it. The player was completely by himself.
But and I'm going to bring this up, and I'll bring up the
I
person
know what
that.
he's gonna bring up. I
Yeah,
know what
you
he's
do.
gonna bring up.
You look at that, and what's the glaring thing on that sheet, other than possession, that we did terrible at? Our big chances. I brought this up week after week. I did research on it. We have the second highest big chances created, and then by far we have the most missed big chances. We have a 30% conversion rate on our big chances. That's terrible. You hope for 40. Good teams get 50. If we just had 50% of our chances, we would have. Again, I don't have it written down, but we would have 60 to 70 goals at this point in the season. How many more wins is that? Think about the match against New York City, and I can bring those stats back up for our big chances. Think about the match against Montreal, our big chances against Montreal. Both of those would have been wins if we converted.
The one against Cincinnati where we had the tying goal, Brekalo had the tying goal.
It wasn't just Brekalo. I think we had another 4 or 5 big chances against that. Yeah, okay, we went 50% against New York. I'm sorry, we went 50%. But you bring up the Montreal match. We didn't. We just. It's one thing. It's a commitment to the finer details, and I'm not sure what happened to Ahmed, but it's a commitment to the final details that this team has never had under Poppy. What was the thing we said 2 seasons ago? Oh, if this team could just finish and score goals. What would we say the first half of last year? Oh, if this team could just finish and score. Well, when you have guys like one of your most expensive player putting in lackluster efforts, or if he does actually try, he's winded after 20 minutes of the match. This is what's going to happen. I'm going to show a video now, and for those that aren't going to be watching, it starts at 82:34 on the clock in the match.
Surveying, Taifi in behind,
and this is the effort that our
surveying, Taifi in behind.
Hold on, sorry, got an overlay on.
Tuesta surveying, Taifi in behind.
Bear with me 1 minute. This is the effort that our DP number 9 gives
Taifi in behind
on a shot that he could have easily just a little bit of effort. Look, he's basically jogging to the ball as the ball's coming in. He's behind the play.
John, it's not even that he's jogging. Like, he doesn't make an effort to get to the ball.
No, that's what I'm saying. There's no
effort.
Like,
Enrique makes that one.
I was like,
makes it, Duncan gets to it.
That's when you throw your body at the ball, and you're like,
throw your body, you put your body on the line, and you put it on the ball.
As long as it's not my hand, some part of my body is gonna interrupt the path of that ball and just, oh my god.
But when we have guys like that as one of the leaders of this team, or assumed leaders of this team, just because of his experience and age, what else do we expect this team to have? But the thing is he perfectly fits in the Poppy scheme. Oh, we're not gonna try to attack too hard.
Name one OCB player that would not have gone for that play.
Shaq would have gotten to it. Ellis would have gotten to it.
Anybody would, not even. I'm not saying they would have made it. This is not about would you have made it, or it's just would you even attempt it.
And we're not saying it's an easy shot either. Just a little bit of effort. No skill is required to get to that ball. Just a little bit of effort to run a little bit harder and to jump towards the ball with your head, with your slide with your foot out, something.
Yeah, I'm sorry. That's a little bit hard to defend. It's hard to defend that.
Yeah. How much money are you making? League minimum? and look at that effort, that willingness to win. You're making $4 million, brother.
And that's
I'm
to
sorry.
Put the game
it's hard
away.
to find sympathy from me.
That's to put the game away. So if he's not willing to do that in a game, imagine how bad he trains.
But we're already winning, John.
In life, I guess.
We were lucky not to have given up 2 or 3 goals in that first half. And we were lucky to not have given up another 2 or 3 goals.
Yes, and there were a couple. There were a few. That one that Campana had, had that not gone a little wide, it would have gone in. That would have been
right, or the one that where he hit the post. Thank God it was offside. I've never been so happy.
As well as thank God he's not Asian.
By the way, Taifi got a new nickname, courtesy of our good friend Eddie Cruz. from Orlando Lions. Then he comes out with this. He has a gift for it. For now on, in this show, we'll refer to him as the Moroccan Machine. So
I
tell
think
everybody.
he gave us a spark off the bench. How many times do we see
My
somebody come off
goodness,
the
I
bench
was so I was
and
cheer.
it's
I
an
know
absolute? It wasn't even a
I
spark.
know
It
his
was an
parents are so proud,
explosion.
man. One of the things that was mentioned on I watched the games in Spanish that they were talking about was how he was a USL fan of the team while playing in the academy, and again, some people take their opportunities, right, and they build around it when they go out there, and Luis Muriel, I'm sorry. You are not winning over the fans by having plays like that. Like I said, you know
But
what,
David, it's not just this one thing. It's not like he just got here and it's been a one off. This has been a trend of his since the moment he got here last year.
we got
And
another year of this,
we
brother.
continue not to sell him.
We
He was
haven't. Well,
in this
we,
offseason. The club
listen.
wouldn't sell him.
In the off
That's
season,
why
we
I
can.
put what I put on my personal X account with the tweet that Ricardo put. Cool. You're on the Wednesday starts tomorrow is what he ended it with. Well, guess what? After the two performances we just had, you're on the clock now to make something happen. I'm not saying it's going to be easy because somebody private chatted me and was saying, "Oh, what can he do? There's not much he can do." Well, guess what? You can buy guys out. You have TAM, you have GAM money, which this team doesn't have much of, but you still have that. You can sell players, which I'm sure somebody in South America and Colombia would take Muriel. We're not going to take a loss on him because we bought him for pretty
The
cheap.
only team interested is juniors, and they don't wanna pay a transfer fee.
So I guarantee you
Unfortunately.
somebody will take Luis
I
Muriel.
mean, we could buy out his contract.
Yeah.
That's 4 mil not to pay for a person that not to play here,
And a
and
portion of
and
that
that's the
does
gamble.
go towards our cap. Does have to go towards our cap.
Yeah, but that's the
But
gamble that we take, man.
but
When
he
we
only
sign
had
a
he
guy.
doesn't even this is I think maybe has the rest of this year or maybe 1 year left. I believe it's this year and then an option year. So you only have to buy out 2 or 3 months of his contract.
How many goals does he have this year?
I can tell you real quick.
I lost my. Somebody stole my phone. I'm not gonna get it back.
But it's just one of those. It goes back to the same thing that we've said multiple times about this team, and that's when, and I said it in the tweet. When is enough enough? When are we going to look at this coaching staff and these players that are brought in, which they do have a little bit to do with, especially Muriel. Muriel was Poppy's guy. The front office admitted that Muriel was
Right, right.
Poppy's
We
guy.
all know he. It was
All right, I'm
a
looking.
signing that was
He has
facilitated.
10 goal contributions and over 1,600 minutes played.
Okay, so
So
that's 2 seasons. That's last year and this year.
that's this season alone.
Okay, what about last year? And I'm asking this question because I want to take the audience somewhere. We're going to a destination. I already know the answer. I want to take you somewhere because so far in 2 seasons, if my math doesn't fail me, that's 8 mil that we have paid the man. If we're paying him 4 mil a year, that's 8 mil that we have paid him so far. So how many goals do we have between 2 seasons?
He has 11 total goals. Is what this is. Yeah, 11 goals. 11 goals for the 2 seasons. I don't see, and I think
Okay,
But
so
doesn't
let me go. How many goals? Go ahead. Go ahead.
Ojeda has 12 as of this last game
Beautiful.
for this
Now,
season?
can somebody tell me how many goals Duncan Maguire has? And Duncan has been hurt for most of this season, and at the end, can somebody tell me?
Duncan has a total of 28 goals
This season?
total.
Oh,
He only has a goal.
Prosecution rest. Your Honor, prosecution rest. We're done here.
yeah,
So,
man.
I mean, we're basically paying at this point. We're basically paying Muriel, a little more than $1 million per goal so far through his contract, and Yeah,
You're telling me we paid this man $8 million for 11 goals, and then we have a kid that we got for free out of the draft, outshining him, and a guy that has been hurt half.
definitely. Yeah, I mean, you got to think Duncan has played what 4 matches this year. I think I'm looking. Oh no, he's appeared in 12
And
matches.
people had the audacity to criticize Kaká.
And the difference in minutes, by the way, just for this season, is Duncan has 349 minutes played. Muriel has over 1,600 minutes played. Most of Duncan's appearances came off the bench. He only had a handful of starts. Um, so it's harder only playing 20 minutes at a time, rather playing 60.
I mean, I'm gonna give you the homework. I'm sorry, John.
No,
Find out how many goals Kara had while he was here, and how many goals he has since he went to Turkey. Because that was another big ticket item player that we were paying a ton of money to. Because I understand, and this is not crapping on Luis and crapping on Ricardo. What do I know? I tell people I'm just a fat guy on the south side, stuff in my mouth with nachos and a diet coke.
I'm
Oh
about to
my!
jump and take your. Did you find it, Ahmed? Because I already had it pulled up. I had football.
yeah, yeah, go for it. Go for it. Yeah, I found
All
it
right.
too. But
So in 53 matches, Kara scored 18 goals,
Wow, outrageous.
and so far Muriel has played 68 and scored 11.
That's what makes angels cry.
So
That's what make this is why God will flood the land again. I'm sorry. No, no, unacceptable, guys.
listen,
No.
we could go down of it's a very slippery slope we're gonna go down here, guys. We could be talking about this for
and
for hours.
the other thing I want to bring up too about that is the fact that almost every Orlando City fan that I've seen on every Orlando City scene that I've on social media is united in the Muriel thing. So what is the several hundred of us that watch this team week in week out missing that Poppy and his staff seem to think Muriel's so good at. I mean, this is a guy that's inside the goal box and decides to try to dribble around 4 people or turns into trouble consistently. Absolutely consistently does it. I would say out of 5 times the man touches the ball, he turns it over 3 or 4 times, and it's just not good enough. Big
Yeah.
chances. I want to know how many big chances he's blown because he's tried to be fancy with it. But Poppy and his staff continue to play the man, start him, play him the majority of minutes. The guy's tired after 20 minutes. You can see it. You saw it in the New York match. We made a couple hard runs to press and was winded terribly. I'll say it
$4
again.
million,
Give me
bro.
my salary I have right now. I'll trade places with him, and I'll be in better shape than. Give me about 3 weeks, and I'll be.
Listen, at this
I'll
point,
be in better
Give
shape
me
than-
about 3 weeks.
at this point, we can get somebody from the wall on the pitch, and probably we get a better production.
Get one of
Guys,
the cross country runners on the wall to go run for him. They'll
for
give a
sure.
good workman shift in, and they'll be about as useless. They won't take up a DP spot
Or
and
international spot.
or an international spot.
Right.
And
Listen,
you know,
right now, I will go out there for $1.50 and an expired bus pass, but that's just me. But
Oh my god.
listen, we're running out of time, guys.
Yes.
We could be talking about this forever.
That's what I'm saying. Yeah. So
Yeah.
coming up, our next match is scheduled for
Friday,
the July
25th.
25th. We go out to Columbus. Where is it? I just had it.
Incredible hostile place.
Yeah. Yeah.
Team that is above us on the and a team that 2 seasons ago came to our house and humiliated us on their way to lift the cup a third time.
Lower.com field. Our history with them, total 23 matches. We have 9 wins, 9 losses, and 5 draws. Total history. Um, I don't know, guys. I'm not feeling very confident. We could be surprised. Our away form right now has been better than our home form, which is another story for another day. But um, I don't know. I don't know that we could pull it off because if we play the same way we've been playing, including this last game that we won, we're done. I don't see us coming away with 3 points. If we come away with a point, it
Hmm.
will be a surprise.
Listen, in movies, you have that one moment where the hero like turns it around. Like in Star Wars, I have used this example 1,000 times. In the original Star Wars, when Darth Vader has Luke Skywalker in the sights in the trench, right, and you think it's over, then then Han Solo comes and saves the day. Boom, torpedoes go down, and we destroy the Death Star.
Hmm.
This could be that game.
It could be, but
It
not the
could
way.
be.
Not if we play the same way.
No, absolutely.
That's yeah. We are very capable of winning, but not the way that we've been playing. We need to change what we're doing. We need to capitalize on every chance we have, and we can't be making stupid mistakes. That's what it's about. This is all these teams are professionals. This is about who makes a mistake first, who flinches first, who does something dumb first. And lately that's been us more often than not. So,
So, looking at the past results, we haven't beat them since September 16th of 23. So we need to start a GoFundMe to get Mark up there. Have him leave probably about the 70 minute when he left in that match, so we can come back and score. From two down, score 3 goals and win that match on Saturday. Because if you guys remember, wasn't it Mark David? Isn't that your friend's name that left early?
Oh, Mark, yeah.
We
He
need to
sure
pay for
did.
Tom to come over and be at that match as well, because that was that first match Tom had been at in a while too. So we need those two to show up in Columbus. Mark to leave early. But no, seriously, if we play like we've been playing, well, we got lucky on Wednesday.
mhm,
We
absolutely.
played a team that's in bad form. We played a team struggling. New York City's is in much better form. Has been playing much better than New England. And if we play like that, I think we'd be lucky to even get a point.
That's what I'm. Yeah,
If
I'm
we
with
get a
you.
point, Gillespie's going to have to stand on his head, or to bring up Star Wars reference, we're going to have to put a force field around our net, because when they get a chance to score, they score.
We need
You
a
know,
result. We can't have a loss.
Yeah.
and well, at this point, since we dropped 5 points to two teams below us, it's about as close to, especially going into a little bit of a break, because League's Cup starts and we play 3 matches in the course of 7 days. Um, it's a must win. I mean, this is a team above us. This is a chance to gain ground. A month ago, as of this past Saturday, we were 2 points from second place. We're now 9 points from second place, and we're only uh, 6 points off of 10th, ahead of 10th.
Nice.
So there's real issues there. There's real issues. The fact that we are closer to being out of the playoffs than we are to being in fourth place. So what does that, what does looking at that tell you? Well, that says that we've been playing terrible and everybody else has been, winning their games while we're losing. And it's got to stop somehow. If it doesn't stop, we're not making playoffs at this rate. If we continue with our form, you look at our last 5, we have a point a match. That doesn't make playoffs.
You know what
We have
kills
10
me though?
matches. We would finish with 48 points if we continue this form. We have 10 matches left. That means we finish with 48 points. We're not making playoffs.
You know what kills me though? If that were to happen, you know what people's reasoning would be? They'd be like, "But guys, we made playoffs the last 5 years. What's one
I
year?"
am so tired of the spinning, bro.
They'd be like, "So what's the big deal? One year we don't make playoffs."
People, I know exactly. They forget about the 5 years where we crapped the bed, or the 2 years where we made playoffs at the last day of the season, or the 3 seasons where we were shown the door, or the season like we had last year where we were a game away from going to the big dance. We could have lifted a trophy at home. Well, we chose not to. Listen, I'm sorry. The days, don't come at me with positivity and crystals and good karma. I don't care about none of that. Okay, I want to win. I want to lift trophies. I want to go on social media and talk trash. We lost Wednesday on our work day. I went to bed at 2 o'clock in the morning. I was so angry, so upset because again, I have to say it. I just want to see my team lift that trophy and tell people, shove it, go suck a lemon. Tomorrow we got the skills challenge and the All Star for MLS Next. We are well represented in those two events as well as the All Star game. To a lot of people, the All Star is a MLS 1.0 thing. Personally, right now, you guys can't see it, but I have called every synagogue, church, temple, mosque in town to put our players on the prayer list, and I made like I don't know 5 or 6 billion candles because our experience is that if our players are gonna get hurt, they're always gonna get hurt in meaningless friendlies, in meaningless preseason games. And I mean, if you could do me a favor, or John, find the tweet from Ricardo where he names the players that are going to be participating in each of those events. Because I believe that we need to give them recognition. I'm gonna watch. It's football. It's it means nothing, but what am I gonna be doing on a Tuesday night or a Wednesday night? Nothing. Aside from praying for the weekend. So I encourage everybody to we got Lions in these things. Let's go support the boys. Don't be like Marco Pasalic that found out that he was going to be the to the to going to the All Star game, and it took 50 seconds for somebody to tell him what it was because he's like, oh, okay, I don't know. You know, it
I
was
mean,
funny. Now, do
good
you
for
have
our
that? Do you guys
guys
have
and
it?
good for our players, but my opinion is in contact sports, kind of like what the NFL has done. Take it away. Do the skills competition. Do all that. That's cool. The stars will show up more for skills competitions. A lot less risk of injury than they will for a match. I don't trust Liga MX team players to take the match not serious. Our players are going to not take it as serious. So to me there's a very high risk of injury, for our players in that match. And I honestly hope, I know they will because everybody plays, but I honestly hope that they come in and it's an absolute blowout and the match doesn't matter and everybody's truly taking it easy because when you step on that pitch as a competitor, you're going to try. It's hard not to. Um, especially somebody like Marco, who I feel like we have a pretty good read on at this point, doesn't know how not to try when he's on the soccer pitch.
Mhm.
And the same with Alex, where Freeman, where he said, it's a chance for a little bit of revenge on his end because of losing to Mexico with the national team. So, I hate the All Star game, especially in soccer. There just always seems to be some fluky injury that comes out of it. Where's it being played at, David? Because that's how much I don't even care about it.
Texas.
Austin.
Austin. So at least it's on real grass and it's not in Portland or Seattle or New England or somewhere like that, or Atlanta, that's fake grass. I just hope the guys, I don't even care if they have a good game, honestly. I just hope they don't get injured. Um, I mean, the retirement home down in South Florida isn't showing up for it, so you know Why if
Yeah,
the stars aren't even going to show up and the people to
imagine
attract
that
eyes?
people refusing to show up to this mockery, but
And I
it
don't
is what
blame
it is.
them. That's one thing I actually agree with them with. Is if I was a soccer player, I wouldn't show up for it. I'd have came down with a knock on Sunday and recovery. Oh my hamstring feels funny. I can't show up.
All right,
But then
so
Yeah.
what does that bring us for Friday? We of course us we play 2 days later.
right. So
Which brings our
again,
two of our most productive players. Two most threatening players on the
two
attack. Won't
starters, two
even be
days
able to play.
rest. Yeah, and travel because they're gonna go from Austin straight to Columbus and most likely come off the
Seven, eight
bench.
hour drive, 7 7 hour flight, probably. I would imagine 6 7 hours.
5.5 maybe. I done that flight and it's about that. Um, but the final words here to wrap it up. Let's hope for the best on Friday, odd day to be playing, and then after that we got the three games in the League's Cup. I'm gonna make the attempt to at least go to one. Hopefully, if not, I know a lot of people are like, "Oh, well, it gives us a place in champions, and there's money for the club." At this point, with our playoff lives at stake, I just don't get hurt. Just let's try to make it. I want to thank everybody that watched us live, everybody that will listen to this later. I mean, if you can put the little banner underneath so people know where to find us on social media. If you're on social media, go find us. Go give us a follow. We try to on all platforms to post things to be cool, to be hip, to be entertaining. Our podcast. If you want a podcast about statistics and tactics, we're not it. We're just guys talking about the game from our
Give me a phone
perspective.
call. I'll talk tactics with you.
Yeah, we'll talk that, but for the most part, we're just trying to have a good time. We love the club. I can tell you that. I don't know if it shows, but we love the club. We follow the club. We're all season ticket holder members, and also we have been following this club for a very long time. I've been here since 2011. I've seen this club through the peaks and valleys, and quite honestly, I don't know how to quit. In fact, I have requested that on the day I die, Orlando City players be my pallbearers so they can lay me down one last time before I leave this planet. So let me know. So that's basically it. But yeah, guys, final words before we say goodbye.
I mean, my dad basically said it in his comment.
Yeah, he
You know,
said, "Just win, baby."
I mean,
That's it.
I know we're getting off of here, but I looked at the stats, the goals per match, goals conceded per match, and it's funny because we have our statistics on that are better, but yet we sit, two spots and um 6 points behind Columbus, but our stats are better.
You know what, guys? What I'm gonna do after we signed off, I'm gonna crank up "Living on a Prayer" because I think that's gonna be our soundtrack for the week. You know what I mean? Living on a prayer, John Bon Jovi all the way, because God knows that we need it.
All right. Well, thank you all for watching us. We're gonna leave you the only way we know how, reminding you that football is played on grass, not on paper, that football is cruel and unpredictable, and that football is a pound of talent and an ounce of luck. And if you have not cried for joy or anger over football, have you really footballed? For the entire team here, David, John, Misael, and myself, may God bless you. And as always, vamos, Orlando!